All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do an audio check. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear and see me okay? Let's see. How's everybody tonight? Wednesday night. Markets were closed. Half day for the New York session. Oh, it feels good to be back. Yes, you can hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Getting everything set up. Give me just a moment, guys. Got to get back into the routine. Thank you, Coach Jay. I seen him in the chat. He took care of you guys. How was that? How was everything with Coach Jay yesterday? I caught a piece of it. He's the man. I'm so happy to have him here at Topstep as well to be able to cover for me. Yeah, I did miss yesterday. Flight issues. I don't want to say any negative things about companies, but man, Frontier Airlines pushed my flight. Yeah, it was either that or I get on the flight and I'm not going to be able, and it was like a 1 day layover. So it was like a 45-minute flight was going to take a whole day because of the layover and going to, and it was a whole mess. It was a whole mess of things. But greetings, everyone. Greetings from London. You can't sleep. Give me just a moment. I'm getting a few things set up on my end. And as we do that, let's just take a look at gold. Give me just a moment. Let me make sure I have the right connection on here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me just make sure. It's a very slow night tonight. We'll see how it goes. It might not be a full session. Maybe we could talk. I can answer some questions. We could chat back. Yeah, Delta Airlines all the way. I could not agree with you more. Delta has been amazing. So it looks like we're starting to rally here on gold, but we can watch this. We can continue to watch this while I get a few things set up on my end. So give me a moment. All right. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Slow Markets. It's been a while. As always, I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. There is our Topstep risk disclosure in the YouTube chat. You know, anything I say is for educational purposes only. We all know that we trade and we click the buttons, get in and out of at our own risk. Now, with that being said, how's everybody doing? It's 4th of July week, so it's going to be a slow night tonight. The New York session was kind of a half day. Topstep was a half day as well. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys trading tonight? What's your thoughts? Did you just kick back? I assume we're not going to be. We're not going to have a lot of traders. Maybe they're home enjoying their family, as they should be. But yeah, I promised everybody I'll have a nice showing. We could do some Q&A. The markets are open just because it's 4th of July here in the United States, and the New York session was not a full day. We have gold, the future markets, gold. We have crude oil. Like the future markets, they are still open right now. So the Asian markets are open. Business as usual for Asian or the Asian markets and London markets, Japan markets. As you can see, we see gold have a little bit of a spike here. And tomorrow should be a very, very slow day. If I don't recommend trading tomorrow at all. It's the 4th of July weekend. We should be just relaxing. The markets are slow. Take, what do we say? Go out and touch grass. Spend the time relaxing, and everyone knows. And I say all the time, the mental side of trading is probably, I say 90%, but everyone has their own percentages. I say 90%. Some people will say like 80%, but it's really up to you. I see as trading 90% mental, 10% just technical analysis. What kind of grass? Whatever. Just outside. Be outside. I'm getting a few more things set up on my end. I was I was on a laptop when I was doing fast markets the other day. So now I'm home. I'm getting everything set up, and guess what? What's one of the hardest things that everybody struggles with? That's what I struggle with. Passwords. Passwords are the absolute worst. I can never remember them. Interesting. I had something to show you. I had something fun to show you guys, but I cannot remember a password to this login to save my life. Man. I probably forgot it, and then when I try and reset it, what happens is I try and reset my password, and then it says create a new password, and then I try and create a new password, and it says I can't use that password that I've already done. It happens to me all the freaking time. If not, you guys might have to wait until tomorrow to see that fun or maybe even Friday morning with Coach Jay to see a few fun pictures that I took. So you guys might have to wait until we get with Coach Jay, unless for some reason I remember it. But as always, we have amazing moderators in the chat, and I think a majority of tonight I want to be answering some questions. Maybe we could talk about how the markets were doing over the last 3 days. I haven't really paid too much attention over the markets the past few days. I traded a little bit. I did take a loss. I've been struggling trading. It's just one of those. I don't know. Maybe it's just summer. I'm gonna blame summer. It's summer. I've struggled trading very, very much. What time frames do you trade on? You see them here. I like to trade on the 5-minute and the 60-minute time frames. Who's Summer? Yeah, Summer doldrums. We all know that. Low liquidity. It's just one of those days. One of those times. But now let's go ahead. Let's start talking about the markets. I'm going to answer some questions, and I'm going to try and sit here and remember this password. And I just cannot remember it. And can be very frustrating trying to get this password to be remembered. Let me take a few more guesses at it while you put some questions in the chat. Everyone's asking me how Vegas is. Do I give you guys updates on Vegas? I don't know. Everyone's asking me. I don't have the same passwords for everything, okay, guys? Come on. You got to give me a break. I'm not that bad. I used to have a whole little system on my keyboard on every time I needed to update a password, and it was not that great. Yeah, Summer. Could you enter a watermark for the chart time frame? I might be able to find a watermark, but for example, let's go over this a little bit, because I still want to talk about trading. I don't want to not, because guess what? Guess what's happened today? It looks like. Here's the daily chart on the NASDAQ, and look what happened today. I mean, why not, right? New all-time highs. We had a really big green fat day where we went up. We broke new all-time highs in the NASDAQ, 20,435 quarter. So new all-time high. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to see another all-time high. We broke out. We had that bearish or pullback, right? As you guys know, and as we have talked here over and over again, that this is looked, and apparently now, right, now that we have hindsight on our, at our back, look at this, right? We had a pullback very, very similar to this pullback that we had June or May. And guess what? We rallied and we continued this trend. So look at this. Here we go again. We had this pullback, and now we are continuing this trend. We just made a new all-time high today. And the question that we all must ask ourselves is, how high do we go? Does this continue? Are we just going to get kind of like a whipsaw pattern? Like, what can we do as traders to prepare ourselves? Primarily for Friday. If you guys trade Friday, then that would be something that we'll be thinking of on what should we do Friday. Maybe we just stay home. Coach Jay and I, we will be on fast markets for Friday morning, but if you don't want to trade, you don't have to. Like I said, TopstepTV is amazing. Coach Jay and I, we don't even have to trade. We could sit there. We could talk about the markets. If something really good does set up, maybe we place a trade. Maybe we trade on combines. But it's definitely something where we don't want to force it, since it's just right in between the holiday and the weekend, right? And yeah, I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting because Thursday, which is tomorrow, it's the 4th, and then Friday is just the markets open up. It's probably, we might see a lot of volatility. It is non-farm payroll. Yeah, that's right, Coach Jay. And we'll see what sets up. We're definitely not going to be going into Friday with the mindset of a normal trading day and looking to trade. That's definitely for sure. And I did take some losses Monday. I was trading while I was in Vegas, because that's the beauty about being able to trade is we're able to trade remotely wherever we're at around the world. And you guys know me, I love to take advantage of that, whether it's on my phone or on my laptop. Whether you're in Vegas, whether you're traveling around the world, you can trade, and as long as you have an internet connection. That is one of the top things that has drawn me to trading, and it's one thing that I love, and I'm sure you guys all love that idea and the whole fact that you can trade from wherever the world as well. And maybe that's something I haven't really told anybody about myself. That's something that that kind of drew me as when I was a little kid, because I get a lot of questions like, "Oh, did you want to be a day trader when you grew up as a little kid?" I'm like, "Yeah." But that wasn't that wasn't completely the answer, right? It's like, oh yeah, I want to be a day trader. It's all about the money, Well, the money is fine, right? Everyone loves the money and how much money you can make in the stock market. But the freedom that being able to trade gives us as traders is to travel wherever we want, whenever we want, and to be able to trade. I think that's the biggest part. That's one of the biggest parts. I didn't understand that when I was little, because I just really wanted, it was really just being independent, being money focused. And then the older I got, after I had a job and after seeing how much time a job takes over your life, then the more trading continued to just become more attractive to me. Like, oh wow, not only can you make all this money in trading, you're not tied down at a single location, and it's very freedom. Okay, everyone's asking me questions about poker. I can't get signed in, but everybody knows when you go to this casino, guess what? You don't just have your debit card or your credit card. You just don't have that, right? And whenever you're playing poker, you play with chips. And when you're playing with chips, when you're done with a day, you don't just take the chips with you. You can't just deposit into the ATM. You can't deposit it into anything. So I had a big wad of cash. I ended up making net positive, oh man, about $7,000 this weekend. When I went down there. And so I never did get a chance to just deposit it in my bank. So I've been carrying around just this wad of cash, and I look like a complete idiot. And then when I had to get checked into the security to go in the airport, I had to fill out this form because it was over $10,000. And it was such a headache. And no one wants to carry around that kind of cash. You should never carry around that kind of cash. So I get home and then I don't even stop at the bank. I just get home. I go straight to bed or straight home and then, shower, try and get everything set up. And yeah, but the poker was fun. The poker was definitely fun. Rips was amazing. And I'm going to say this, I don't think Rips is in the chat, but I was surprised how good Rips was at chess. Rips, we played, and I'll mention this again when he's in the chat or maybe during a fast market session, is Rips beat me at chess. And I was really surprised. It was, we played best of 5 throughout the week. He beat me 2 times. I beat him 2 times. And then he beat me. And throughout that whole thing, I made a couple errors. And there's the difference between playing on a computer and playing over the board. But he let me get away with a few of them. So, yep, Rips is definitely a better chess player than I am. If we played 100 games, he would probably beat me 80 of them. Yeah. Is that really cool? Yeah. That's me and Rips hang out all weekend. Yeah, that was the highlight, guys. This is slow market, so you guys get the secrets first. But yeah, Rips being a better chess player. I never did find out what his secret to his hair routine is. I tried to find that out, and I just couldn't get that. He keeps that in like a vault somewhere on his hair routine. MP doesn't like you guys anymore. Did MP get upset with the chat? Were you guys trolling him or something? How should I talk about how not going in tilt? Everyone goes into tilt. What's my chess elo? It's about it depends. He denied the codes. My chess elo, and here I am. This is slow markets, guys, and we're talking about chess elo. This is a very informal and relaxed slow markets, okay? This is a very slow market. My chess elo depends, but it bounces around between 1600 and 1800. Chess is definitely something that you need to practice and keep up with to continue. Coach, do you use Tick Strike? No, I do not use Tick Strike. Do you use a trading journal? Like which one? For my trading journal, I do use, I don't recommend it because it's not the best, but it's something I used. And, humans are a creature of habit. I'm a creature of habit. I keep all my trades and my notes in Microsoft Excel. It's not the best, but there's a lot of trading journals out there. Topstep's dashboard even has an option to write notes. So definitely Topstep's dashboard. Like you could keep notes there. You could just have an old-fashioned notebook, write it with pen or pencil. So there's many different ways to keep notes. Okay, Coach, you tend to be more of a scalper, or you try to add your winners for the home run? So this is a good question. I try and have a good mix of both. The question and correct me if I'm understanding this question incorrectly, is if I tend to be more of a scalper, or do I try and build a position for bigger winners? And my answer to that is both. I do like to have scalps when they set up, right? And if there is a scalp, I will take the trade, and then I'll take it. But most of the time, and I would say the majority of my trades, 90% plus, are longer time frame. So I'm looking for time frames over an hour. I'm looking to be in a trade for over an hour. I'm looking to build a position. I'm looking for, higher time frame and momentum. And as I'm doing so, if I do see a good setup and I say, okay, you know what, this might not be a higher time frame, and I definitely, and as we're talking about it, you guys seen how we analyzed gold every single night for the past 3 going on to 4 weeks. This gold trade, when we do get into it, is a scalp, right? I'm only in and out. I want to be in and out of gold less than 1 hour. But then the other trades that I talk about, which is the majority of them, it's longer time frames, right? I'm looking at the hourly, then I'll jump down to a 5-minute. I'll talk about support and resistance. So I would say it's a mix of both. I like longer time frames. For those of us trading a 50K XFA, real quick before I answer this question, here's a fun piece of news. So our news, this is just something fun. While I've been struggling a bit in my live account, I've been trading in combines. As I've traded in combines, I passed some XFAs, or I passed some combines. So let's take a look at that. I haven't logged onto my dashboard. So I want to see, I passed some combines. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So I did pass 5 combines yesterday, last night. So, and these are, I wanted to, I can start. There's the Start Express funded account. That is very nice. That's something I might go ahead and do. But these are not big. These are only the 50K accounts, because I will, and I know Hoags and MP and Eddie and everybody on Topstep agrees with the same exact thing, is if you cannot do this with one account and you cannot do trade. I had a broken one, and that was a coach's account. So I have a coach's account. Oh, where is it? I have coach's account. So when I'm teaching, let me see if I could find Topstep. I'll show it to you. This one right here. See this 150K? This is a coach's account. It might not even let me show it to you. That I did. But this is not eligible for funding. Let me see if I do it. I don't know if it will. Okay. I don't want to show you. So, yeah, it's not eligible for funding. See, these are all 150Ks, but it's definitely not eligible for funding. So what the coaches get is we get a 150K account because it has the level 2 depth of book. And so when we're coaching, we could practice. I could place orders. And so what I need to do actually is I need to go and I get this reset, but it's not eligible for funding, unfortunately. But these 5 XFAs are, wherever they're at. So anyway, so that being said, I was copying 50K accounts times 5. Yeah, you guys always get free stuff. And then here's gold. Gold's bouncing. Gold's rallying very hard. But anyway, let me go back to this. Yeah, this is the 150K. This is that 150K. Man, I had this one for the whole month, but I don't know which one was passed. These 50Ks. This is it. And while gold is just nonstop going up. We want to watch gold. I'm sure you guys want to watch gold just keep going and going and going. We'll continue to watch gold, but I want to talk about this. About what I was saying is I am a firm believer of if you can't do it in one account, if you can't do it in a small account, you can't do it in a big account. And I've been struggling the past 2 weeks in my live account. I mean, I'm still up, over 200,000 or whatever it is for the, it's already July. It's already July. So for the first, I'd say first half, I'm just assuming I started January 1. I started my live account February something, but I always just consider it for the first half of the year. But if you can't do it in a small account, you can't do it in a big account. And like Hoag says, like Eddie says, like MP says, any of the coaches here at Topstep, and I think anybody that you see on Topstep TV will say the same exact thing. If you cannot do it in a small account, you are not going to be able to do it in a bigger account. And then if you can't do it in one, you're not going to be able to do it in 5, right? So I wanted to do it in 1, and it's something I need this practice. I really need this practice. Trading a 50K account using a $1,000 daily loss limit, because that's what I've been struggling with. I had a $250,000 account balance with a $12,000 daily loss limit, and it kind of got into my trading, and then I pull out 134,000, and I pulled out 29,000, and I pulled out 18,000. And then as I was pulling money out of my account kept getting smaller, my daily loss limit changed, and so I need to just take a step back and trade a smaller account and practice trading, 1 contract, 2 contract, 3 contracts, smaller contract sizes. As you can see, 6, 10 total, 10, 16, rather than the 30 or 25. So, and on my live account, these were up in the 100 contracts. So instead of trading 100 contracts in a day, trading a tenth, like such a smaller amount. I think it's helped. I've really enjoyed it. We're going to see. I'm going to go ahead and activate these. I won't activate these right now because I have to go through that whole process. I don't want to bore everybody to death going through all 5 of these, and activating them. But I will activate these. I need to for myself, to practice. I think now is a great time while we're in the summer, while we are, we have this nice long break. How long did they take? I think they take 4 days, 5 days. I just closed off that window, so whatever. Rewind it. It wasn't 100 contract trade size. It was like maybe, for example, it counts. Say you enter 1 trade with 1 contract. Say you buy and sell 1 contract, it shows as 2 contracts sold, right? So if you buy and sell 1, it counts it as 2, I believe. So it says 100 contracts because throughout the entire day, I bought and sold 50 contracts, and that added up to 100. What was your strategy with passing them? The same exact thing I talk about slow markets. Same thing. Last night, my final trade to pass them was a gold trade. I ended up getting, if you believe this, I ended up getting long gold last night on this break. So I ended up buying it somewhere right here. I think it was this break. So I ended up buying gold here, hitting take profit at the top of this high. And that's how I passed it. So it's the same exact thing, guys. It's just smaller position size. So instead of using 5 contracts and then scaling in with 5 contracts, I'm using 1 and then 2 and then 3. Instead of 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, right? And then sometimes I'd get into 30 contracts. So smaller contract size, getting back to, I guess what we would say, getting used to a smaller daily loss limit, and then going from there. Got Market Wizard after Coach Jay recommended it last night. Ooh, I do need to go and watch the rest of Coach Jay. I caught a bit of it. Yeah, Coach Jay is awesome. I hope to have him on Slow Markets a lot more. And I'm sure he might be happy to join me. I love having him on there. Would you be able to do a makeup session? Yes, Tony Y. I might be able to do a makeup session. We'll see. It can't interfere with everything else that I have planned. But yeah, I could see myself doing a makeup session for you guys. But it needs to be when the markets are open and when it's not so slow. This is a very more relaxed, very informal, just relaxing, enjoying the holiday. Markets are slow. They were closed during the New York session. So don't expect, I'm not expecting much to happen tonight in terms of movement in these markets, even though we are seeing gold rally right now. So tomorrow, I'm not expecting anything. Preparing for Friday, I'm going to be trading Friday with Coach Jay. Maybe I could break out the Express accounts and trade them. That is a possibility. Rather than dealing with my live account on Friday, I'll do my Express accounts. And then next week's going to be a big week. I don't have a hair secret, guys. I literally just took a shower. Like I said, I tried to get Coach or Rip's secret hair routine, and I couldn't get it. A few more questions. I do plan on ending this stream a little bit early. It's the holidays, and it's going to be a holiday stream. Just like TopstepTV ended half day, I will be ending a little bit early. Let's get some more questions. For those of us who are trading a 50K XFA and limited to 1 to 2 contracts, what would you recommend for a daily loss limit versus the risk per trade? I usually give myself 2 bad. So, there's Rips. Rips is in the chat. Yeah. Rips wouldn't give me his secret hair routine. I tried to find it. He keeps it locked in this huge safe, just like Mr. Krabs in the Krabby Patty formula. He just keeps it. I tried. Like, that was my whole goal, to go to Vegas and find that. Find it. I just couldn't. I could not. That would be worth a pretty penny if only we knew it, and if only we could just sell it, and then we would all make tons and tons of money, and everybody will have beautiful hair. So let me get to this question. I would stick with 1 contract, or drop down to micros. Do not be afraid of micros. Micros is probably one of the best things that you could do as a trader for smaller accounts. So maybe trade 2 or 3 micros, get used to it, then use 1 contract. Yeah, had a great poker weekend. Yes, Rips. Yeah, I gave him a little bit of an update at the beginning of the stream. Just told him how amazing you are at chess, and yeah, all that fun stuff. Talked you up. What did you do to test ideas, or to test trade ideas? Like take notes, trade journal, execution, charting. Ooh, American Pride. This is a great question. If you've watched how I've been trading gold over the past month, that's exactly what I do. So we identified a market. We identified a way that we want to trade a market and maybe a particular setup. And every single night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we looked at gold. We talked through the trade idea. We seen, how would I want to get in? How do I want to get out? Is there anything that I need to trade or adjust to either improve, or, where do I need to put my stop loss, or where do I need to take my take profit? But yes, that is the exact way I go through that. I did it live in front of everybody. We went through it, and it's taken about a month where it's still not refined. And to be honest, this gold trade at 8 p.m., and in my opinion, is not going to be ready to, I guess, do a real in-depth analysis until like 3 months, 6 months maybe. Like after 3 to 6 months, then you could start to look at the statistics of a particular trade and of a particular, I guess, strategy. And then you could determine, am I doing this right? Is it profitable in the long run? Is there some things that we still need to adjust or tweak? There's always something, and we're always going to be continuing to improve. But 1 month worth of data is very, very small. And I've been trying to trade gold every single night, and after 3 months, I'll review it, and maybe we could talk about it on stream of, what are the statistics trading gold? Is there anything I could do differently? Is there, what can we do? Like, is this a good strategy? Or are we just, maybe we just don't trade it, right? Because even though we're seeing volatility, there has to be something there. I do think there is. This is the chart that you see me is the gold. It's gold on the 1 minute chart. And the idea that is behind this was at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we see an increase in volatility, which you could see right here. We did get an increase in volatility and kind of a breakout strategy, but we'll see how it works. I seem to get myself in trouble when I get about $1,000 from passing a combine. Do you have any tips on how to get yourself over the 2,000 barrier and pass? It's all mental. It's all in your head. It really is. Trade smaller. That is always the answer when it comes to trading. Trade smaller, and that's it. Yeah, Rip says he's a bit rusty in chess. Rips is a bit rusty in chess. It was a 2v1. It was 2v1 at chess on one of those games. Put your stop loss and break even. I don't put my stop loss and break even very much. I've heard traders can do both. Whatever one works for you guys. I'm not sure about a swing account for futures. How to change my goal to only trade good trades and let money take care of itself. That would make sense, right? Trade only the good trades, and then, it'll all take care of itself, right? And now we're, everyone's on poker, so we might as well talk about poker, right? Because there's a lot of poker analogies that can be had in trading. Poker and trading go hand in hand. And I'll give you a good example. And Rips, you will appreciate this because this happened to us when we were there. Is you sit down at the table, right? Just like you sit down at your computer and you turn your computer on and you pull up the markets. Well, you just don't turn your computer on. You don't pull up the markets and just start buying and selling, right? You don't just say, okay, here's the NASDAQ, buy, sell, buy, sell. You have to sit there and you have to wait and you have to wait and you have to wait. And then only when the right setup comes is when you want to put your money at risk, because you know that there's a probability that is now in your favor that you're going to have a profitable trade. Well, it's the same thing with poker. The other night, Rips and I, we sat down at the table, and oh my gosh, it was absolutely boring. It was really, really boring. And then we had some other players come in, and, they started to put money in very bad situations. And then just like in trading, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a breakout and a pullback. So if you guys could imagine, if this chart that you guys see me, if this is the poker table and, the market's going up and up and up and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting for a pullback, And then some guy sits down and then he starts putting money and throwing money in the table, and we're getting that pullback. And then you start to notice, and boom, there's the situation. Probabilities are now in my favor. Put my money in, right? And then it's like, there's a sweet, beautiful 3-bar reversal on a pullback. And then you have that positive expectancy. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed, right? We just know, we understand probabilities, because very much, the dealer could he could suck out on you, and he could hit a gut shot straight draw for your stack when you have pocket aces. That happened to me. That I'm still a little salty over, or just as planned, right? We continue up and you end up making money. So both situations happen over and over again. And then guess what? There's also times, just like when at poker, where the market is just flat, right? The market's not moving. The market's not going up. It's not going down. There's no volatility. There's no opportunities, and it's just dead, right? Yeah, or ace king versus 8-9, where you have a pair versus two overcards, and then he just sucks out on you for your stack. But yeah, then you can imagine, right? You sit down at the poker table and you're excited. You have your money. You have your brand new fresh XFA, your brand new fresh live account. But then the markets are flat, and they're just flatlining like this, and it's just going sideways. And like, why just put money at risk when the market's going sideways? And referring that back to poker, that happened to us. It happened to me when, we're bright, we're awake, we're excited to go play some poker and, try and make some money, and nobody's putting anything in the middle, right? There's no opportunities. Everyone's just, check, limp in, check all the way down, nothing. We're all fighting over little pennies. And then when that happens, you just stand up and go home. And sure enough, that was today, right? That could be right now. You just stand up, you go home, you push the power button on your computer, you go outside, you enjoy the nice long weekend, and then you hit it again, maybe Friday or Monday morning. That probably is the best. Yeah, there you go. Nick K. Blackjack is probably better comparable. Yeah, but you can't really get blackjack in your odds, right? Not as often as you could get some of those fish that like to come play during a holiday weekend. But nope, I'm just chilling, guys. I'm not seeing anything on these markets. It's holiday, and I'm answering questions. We got Coach Jay in the chat. We got Rips. And I am going to be ending my session a little bit early. And I'm going to go practice what I preach. And that is relax. I'm going to have a nice, relaxing. I got a whole bunch of stuff I need to take care of. And tomorrow, I'm going to go watch some fireworks. I'm going to be on Fast Markets Friday morning. And I'm going to have a nice weekend. No sleep for me. I have a trip planned. I'm actually going to go kayaking. I'm going kayaking this weekend. It's going to be fun. No slow markets tomorrow. Nope. Tomorrow is a holiday. No slow markets. Yeah, as soon as I'm done with Fast Markets Friday morning, I'm going to be hitting the road. Let me see. I don't have the times, but yeah, I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be sleeping in a tent for basically 2-3 days, kayaking. Found out they want us to take a bag just in case we have to use the bathroom. I don't know. I'm going to be roughing it. Your kayak is ready? Yeah, time to go feel the burn of kayaking. It's quite the workout, to be honest. Lido, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Ooh, yes. Yes, good call out, Coach Jay. Remember, if you hit your daily loss limit right now, you're kind of screwed. Any trades that you trade today will be looped into Friday's trades. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Yeah, slow market, very slow. I'm not looking for any trades. If something sets up, I will take it. I'm not going to be looking at the charts. That's for sure. I'll wait until Friday morning. Maybe wait for Coach Jay. And maybe I don't even take any trades until Monday. That might be the play. Wait till Monday. So I think that's it for me, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach Jay, for taking over, covering for me due to that flight. And then thank you, Rips. We had a fun, very fun weekend. So take care, and I will see you guys bright and early Thursday morning. Bye.